Jonathan, what chance do you think does the National Party give itself of taking the seat?
Good morning to you, Janie. I think, to be honest, somewhere between Buckley's and none at the moment. They never actually claimed Eden-Monaro, which is remarkable considering it's such a rural electorate in so many areas. Trevor Hicks was out this morning. He cast his vote very early. You'll see him now in the pictures. You get a sense of just how few people were actually out and about this morning. A number of people involved in the pre-polling, which is really stifled what you'd normally see on an election day like this when you get the traditional voters back out the door. And to put Trevor's position into context, he was polling originally around 5%, and you put that by comparison to 2019 when the National Party received around 7% of the primary vote, around 7,000 votes. So one of the questions which has been surrounding their campaign out here is John Barilaro, the New South Wales Deputy Premier. He obviously flagged his interest very early on in wanting to run. We caught up with the party's national president, Larry Anthony, and I asked him what damage that had caused.
There's always going to be a bit of competitive tension when you've got two Conservative parties, but let's face it, the Liberal Party aren't getting preferences anywhere else. They're getting preferences from the Nationals, and likewise they'll allocate preferences to us. So I think a bit of competitive tension, there's nothing wrong with that. Look, at the end of the day, the people of Eden-Monaro, they'll make up their mind. Most of them, a lot of them already have.
Jonathan, there's also been some unusual campaigning at Booze today from the Hemp Party.
Yeah, Jade, I've seen some grassroots campaigning in my time, but I think this just about takes the cake. I've never quite seen this on an election day. The Hemp Party is actually circling polling booths at the moment with loudspeakers, with megaphones, urging people to vote for the Hemp Party. They're actually, one of their campaign strategies seems to be talking about the fact that those growing the marijuana overseas are making the profits. Let's have a listen.
A vote for cannabis is a protest vote to review the laws. And it's time we did this. We all know that. Don't let the government nonsense get to you. Almost impossible to get, and all imported, and twice the price, if not more, of the black market. That's the legal medical cannabis they're talking about. We should be allowed to grow our own. The problem is no one makes a profit then.
Yeah, Janie, some people might say, what's he smoking? But I think we already know.
Certainly keeping it interesting for you. Jonathan Lee, thank you very much for joining us today. Also, political reporter Trudy McIntosh and Eliza Edwards will talk to you again shortly. And you can tune in from 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight for the live rolling coverage of all the results and the reaction from the Eden-Monaro by-election. Joining Kieran Gilbert on the panel will be Peter Credlin, Graham Richardson, Deputy New South Wales Premier John Barilaro, Deputy Labor Leader Richard Marles, Energy Minister Angus Taylor and Political Editor Andrew Clennell. Complete coverage right here on Sky News and Sky News on Win.